Nowadays, three men shouting at me that I'm a pedophile or a criminal, or we will see where the future leads us, or we all belong in front of a wall, is almost, I would say, business as usual, said Nicholas Ninas, a member of the European Parliament from the Green Party. In the US, threats against members of Congress have surged more than tenfold over the past 5 years. In 2016, there were 902 recorded threats, while in 2021, their number reached 9,600. Recent incidents include a 2017 shooting by a left-wing extremist during a Republican congressional baseball practice, which severely injured Congressman Steve Scalise, a mailing of pipe bombs to more than a dozen prominent Democrats in 2018, a 2020 plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, a 2022 attempt by a pro-choice advocate to assassinate Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh at his home, and the attack on Paul Pelosi, husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, in the same year in an attempt to reach her. These facts only represent incidents involving top-level politicians. The reality at the state level is even more alarming. Recent studies revealed that over 40% of public officials and politicians in various states have faced direct threats or attacks in the past 3 years. Additionally, 90% of politicians reported experiencing various forms of violence, including stalking, intimidation, and harassment. The increasing violence against politicians cannot be explained solely by the struggle between opposition and pro-government forces or intra-party conflicts. In democratic countries, threats and violence have become an everyday reality for politicians at all levels, regardless of their ideological views or party affiliation. Today, every politician is under threat. This is further exacerbated due to another significant issue noted by researchers across various countries: the rapidly growing level of support for violence against politicians among ordinary citizens. For instance, the approval of violence against politicians in the United States has reached unprecedented levels. According to a recent national survey, 1 in 5 Americans believe that violence may solve U.S. political divisions. For comparison, in Northern Ireland in 1973, at the height of the Troubles, 1 in 4 Catholics and 1 in 6 Protestants supported the idea of violence as a legitimate means to achieve goals. Today, the figures in the United States are approaching these levels. A dangerous transformation is taking place in democratic countries. Violence is no longer considered taboo and is becoming an acceptable way of resolving political divisions. The most alarming trend is that citizens increasingly support aggression against politicians, being unaware of the destructive consequences of such behavior. The shocking statistics presented above are just the tip of the iceberg. Even more concerning is how society and the media trivialize this issue. Violence against politicians is often framed as occupational hazard or presented in a comedic light when politicians are splashed with paint, egged, or pelted with dirt. A tragic paradox arises. Those who applaud violence against political figures are dismantling, with their own hands, the very foundation of democracy that they claim to be trying to improve. Under constant psychological pressure, fear, and threats, politicians are simply unable to work productively and fulfill their duties. If this trend continues, the civilized world will face a collapse of the democratic system that has been built over the past centuries.